Hello, it's Thursday. So I'm working on something right now, but I'm also experiencing something known as scope creep. So I thought today we might be able to mash up some animals instead. So I did find this fun looking wheel online. So yeah, let's spin it. And I will link the wheel in the description. Okay, you are very precariously balanced because my clamp is broken and I haven't managed to pick up my new one yet, but hopefully this works. Hold very, very still. Okay, so here's the wheel. As mentioned, I didn't design it, I found it. Somebody else has done like a fun job putting this one together. So yeah, the real question here is how many times do we want to spin it? But I think we'll start with 2 and just see if we feel like we need some more details in the mix. Here we go. Okay, it looks like we got a rooster or a chicken. Okay, spin number 2. A kangaroo. Okay, I think we do need at least one more spin, so let's... Now, see, I told you had to stay still. Rooster and a double kangaroo. So that was a really solid practice run. So spin number 1. Cat. Okay, cat's really solid start, and we will spin the wheel again. It's a frog. Frog army over on Discord will be very pleased. Okay, so we have a cat and a frog. That's already a lot of baggage to kind of take into this animal. One more sort of bonus creature. That was very nearly a dinosaur, but instead we have a little hedgehog. Okay, so our animals are cat, frog, and then like a big maybe over the hedgehog if we decide we need to incorporate some elements. So now I'm going to pass you over to the eye in the sky. Hello. And we're going to do some sketching and kind of work out what this creature should be. Now, there was a mistake last week. I did post. I posted the pattern for this screaming opossum, so if you missed that, I'm very sorry, but it is available on my channel. It just didn't get pushed to anybody's subscriber feed, which is a mistake that I made, not YouTube. But if you missed that, feel free to like go watch it. He's pretty cool. He also plays dead. Alright, so I've pulled, it turns out that I haven't made any kind of realistic cats, but I do have this little cat, and I've got my cute little frog here. Pulled them for inspiration. I have named them. We have tadpole with purr in it, tadpole, and crokitty. I'm just doing a little shape breakdown. The more, like, these drawings kind of like happened a little bit faster than I thought they would, and while they're not exactly what I'm after, they definitely give me where I want to start. But I've decided, that I don't need to pick between one or the other because I really like the tadpole influence, but I also really like the full-blown frog influence. So instead, I'm thinking I'm going to try and make 2. I should just rename the channel Scope Creep at this point. Crochet Scope Creep. And it's like a Pokemon, evolving Pokemon, yay! So we've got Tadpole and Crokitty, and who we're going to make today. So I'm just going to finish doing my shape breakdown, and then we'll break out some colours. We're probably going to stay mostly with the top-down view from here on out, just because there's been complaints about me including too much of my face, which I'm trying not to take personally. Anyway, on we go. So now this is begging the question of, I kind of like the idea of doing it like a big dumb orange cat because that's just the best. But at the same time, I feel like the frog pole, the frog and tadpole influences would be more blue-green, and they don't necessarily go with orange. So bear with me, I'm probably going to throw a lot of colours at the wall and just see what sticks. These colours are always really funny because they're very green in real life, but on camera they always turn out really blue. Okay, so I think I've narrowed it down to these ones here. So I think that these will be like my main body colours, which are kind of froggy and good. And then we've got our pale underbelly, or which also could end up being this, but we'll see how we feel. And then I definitely want to integrate some orange, and I've picked kind of a very cartoony orange, but it's going to be like my cat colour. So it'll be featured in like the ears, the stripes, that sort of thing. So we're going to try and integrate some of this very, very bright orange, though again, if that bothers me, I will swap it out for a more pastel tone, because I tend to chicken out of using strong colours when I get the opportunity to chicken out of using strong colours. So I am going to start by working on Tadpearl, making the little like worm of the body. But so these are going to be quite small, but I think they'll still be quite good. For Tadpearl, I started with the main body nugget. At first I was working it entirely in my like middle turquoise colour, but at the halfway point I decided that colour markings would make me happier, so I started again. I had almost regained all of my lost ground, but I stopped to make eyepieces so I could clip on the eyes through both layers. Hey, good pop sound. With the eyes attached, I decided to make the ear patches. For these creatures, orange is my cat reference colour, so it became the main colour for these cat-inspired ear patches. The plan is that they are the spots on Tadpearl, but they evolve into ears for Crocheting. And making them now means that I can make sure that the body is big enough to fit them comfortably. With those made, I could now power through the rest of the body, as I've had a firmer idea for exactly how long it actually needed to be. The tail is looking a little wormy, but it'll all make sense after I add the fins. Little design hack here, I traced the tail onto paper and then I drew the exact shape I wanted the fin to be. Then I could just stitch that using the drawing as a guide. Look, they are finished. Anyway, that's how I made fins that fit. I did decide to add some nose pieces here. Don't worry if you don't like them, I do end up making some adjustments. With scissors. Just wait, it's fine. Okay, so there is my finished tadpole, and yeah, there's definitely trace amounts of Perry the platypus in there, but let's not focus on that. Let's focus on the next one. Now, I don't know if any of you have been hanging out for a follow-up to the beading video I did, but it has been my best performing video of all time, so I figure some of you might be. Just a little update there. I have gone out and I read the comments, so I have procured seed beads in many, many pretty colours. And also I procured a tube of pony beads, and having listened to the feedback from last time, I have sorted them. I have sorted them into their colours. So at some point there will be a follow-up to that video as I try it with the other kinds of beads that you guys suggested. But not today. Moving on to Crocheting. This time I started with the eyes. I knew I wanted them to be big and bobbly, like somebody had blown up tadpole and they'd popped right out. Then I could work on the main nugget, which is a combined head and body piece. I definitely wanted the nugget to be decidedly froggy, complete with a pale underbelly. So everything is very frog colour-coded at this point, so next I went for the ears. The ears I wanted to be very cat, tall and wide triangles with our orange on the inside and turquoise on the outside, to match the ear spots we made on tadpole. On Crocheting they have popped off the back and form a frame around the bobbly eyes. For the limbs I started out thinking I would make different arms and legs, but it turned into the same pattern for all of them. I wanted to take the long tube shape you see on cartoon cats and add the separate toes for a more frog shape. So as I attached them, I'd made the arms turn slightly inwards to read a little bit more froggy and had the feet sticking straight out. Then I made some stripes for the back, the idea being that the spots from tadpole had grown and connected into full bands. I feel like the stripes serve both the cat and the frog influences. Throughout this, I was staring at tadpole and realising how badly I hated the nose pieces. So warning, this footage might be upsetting to some, but I grabbed a pair of scissors and I gave her a nose job. And it is so much better. She's so much cuter this way. Getting back to Crocheting, for the tail I made a long tube that hit the same colour notes as the original tail on tadpole. Looking back at it now, I do wish I had maybe kept part of the frill on it, but I do like that it's an unapologetically cat element in an otherwise foggy froggy. I did end up using the nose pattern from tadpole to make the mouthpieces for Crocheting though, so they work better on her. They do. Then I had to add toe beans. She can't be a frog without toes, but she also can't be a kitty without toe beans. Tiny little toe beans on tiny froggy feet. I should have gone back and added toe beans to tadpole, and the screaming opossum, and the Pokemon from the week before. Everything is improved by the presence of toe beans. Yay, toe beans! Always gotta trim the back of your eyeballs. And finally it was time to assemble. So there is my finished Crocheting who evolves from tadpole. I think you can really see the cat and the frog, even if it is maybe slightly more cat. Tadpearl was a lot more tadpole than kitten though, so I think it balances out. I love this as a creative exercise as it really just forces me to play with shapes I wouldn't normally go for. I look at Tadpearl and I immediately want to convert it into a mini axolotl pattern. I also think if I made the croquetty pieces without the ears, nose, toe beans and tail, it's actually a pretty great basic frog. I mean, there's plenty of those on the channel already, but I also just really like frogs. Okay, so I hope you had fun today. I will pop the pattern notes that I came up with over on Patreon for anybody who's looking for those. Let me know in the comments if you have guessed what this is going to be. Because I just could not get it done in 1 week. But yeah, other than that, I'll see you next week. Okay, bye!